All right, all right, all right. We're
Right,
live from
right,
304
right.
Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STS Pod Club production. I'm BT, and right over there, Lance. Lance is he's not deceiving, nothing up his sleeve, and no teasing. See,
Presto.
see, no deceiving or teasing, man. He's from the future state of Chicago, not the Commonwealth of Illinois, the home of the best damn pizza in the world. He's the snark of excellence, my partner in crime, your friend and mine. He is Lance Levine.
I might be your friend. I don't know about others. I'm not
Yeah, well,
sure.
that's true. You
I
know,
got
they
my
dwindle into
standards
cool
are
kids.
way up here, way up here. Got the
Well,
high
I don't know
standards.
why the
So,
hell you hang out with me then. Jeez,
yeah,
jeez.
pity. It's pretty much
Oh,
pity.
there we go.
So.
Yeah, yeah. I feel the same, man. Episode
I am in the plant-based Reese's
wait.
Peanut Butter Cup Studios tonight. By the way,
Plant-based?
plant-based. It's brand new. Yeah, it's coming soon.
Oh,
So they're
why
sponsoring us.
is what I want to know. Why? Come on.
Well, at first I thought about it. I'm like, wait, it's chocolate and peanut butter. That already is plant-based. And then I realized, well, there's probably milk in there, I guess, like a percentage of milk. So there's people that can't eat Reese's and don't know the pleasure of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, so they have to have plant-based, which is fine. I'll have it. I'll try it. Why not?
Hey, yeah, I have no. I'm just not going to eat everything like that. I gotta have my real protein. I gotta have some beef, and I gotta have some chicken. So
Plus, they're sponsoring us, so
well, that's true. That's true. They're sponsoring us.
Plant-based Reese's up the yin yang, so I'll be eating them for sure.
Yin yang. We were not talking about from Japan now. Come on.
Yeah, Maki.
Oh, we're episode 686. This is episode 36 of DYN-O-MITE. I want to direct your attention real quick to Shiznit Minute. I hadn't missed a day yet. Every day, the Shiznit Minute somewhere. No, it's not on here. The
I'm pointing
Shiznit
at
Minute.
Spunk Loop right now, actually.
Yeah. Because they're sponsoring this show and they sponsor us every month. We want to thank them also. Lance, you heard that? 689. We're closing in on episode 700. 700. And I got some stuff planned for that. It should be really fun. Just fun. 700 will be just fun. So what we do on DYN-O-MITE is we do hits, misses, MVP. What do we look forward to the most for this upcoming week? And must see. And remember, Lance, we do this in a round table format. So
it's a round table.
Say
I always forget the format.
I know. You say your hits, and then you throw it back to me, and then I go to you with Miss. Just round table, round.
It's kind of back and forth.
No, it goes round. I'll have to do a diagram. I got a bunch of you.
A snake draft in fantasy. We go back and forth and back and forth.
I got some new programs about making brand new logos. I'll make us a round table so I'll show you what I'm saying, direction.
Excellent.
I'll send that next time. Oh, by the way, next week is WTF. We're doing it this week because we want to be as close to the pay-per-view as possible. We're going to start with you, Lance Levine. Hits Revolution, by the way. This is the AEW Revolution from Sunday. So what is your hits?
We're only 48 hours removed from that. So
I know,
we're doing a good job covering this show. So I'm gonna spoiler alert, best pay-per-view I've ever seen. Spoiler alert. Just going to say that right off the top so that you can start shaking your head. We have not, this is funny.
All right, we're done for tonight, guys. Best pay-per-view ever. We're done.
You and I have not even talked about the show. I think this is going to be...
I want to say that real quick.
This is kind of cool that we're going to be revealing our thoughts about the show. So that's why I wanted to get that off my chest right away, that I love the show. So as far as hits go, first off, I created a list. I know Richard always takes credit for creating the list. I created a list. House of Black versus the Bucks and Omega. Just, you could not turn away from this match. Just nonstop excellence. Love this match. Love the fact that it went against expectations. Because you knew going into that, at least I knew going into it, that Buddy Murphy was there to eat the pin. I thought House of Black, they just put the trio belts on the Elite. So I thought for sure they were going to win. They were going to retain. You could not look away from this match. You couldn't blink your eyes. I gave that one 5.25, just nonstop excellence. Fantastic match. The women excelled in one of the toughest spots on the card. I thought following that trios match, the women are put in that spot. I'm like, oh, these poor girls, they're going to have to follow that match, that epic match. And they did a good job. I gave that one 3.75. That was fantastic. They did a great job. They had Ruby Soho turn to make it even more memorable. The Moxley and Hangman brutality. I was a little turned off by the fakeness of the barbed wire, but we'll get into that in the misses. But the fact that Hangman Page carved up his head, his forehead was being carved up with a fork, it brought back memories of Abdullah the Butcher and Carlos Colon from the Apter magazines when we were kids. So the curb stops on the bricks, I thought that was cool, a great spot. But the number one hit on the show, on my list, the number one hit on the show has to be the Iron Man match. A roller coaster ride of emotions. The fact that MJF kept up in that match, I thought it was paced perfectly. They had peaks, they had valleys, they took breaks that were very well disguised in the 1 hour time limit. They went overtime. The match had it all. It had MJF, the ultimate heel, picking up a drink from a mom and spewing it on the kid. And then it turned out afterwards that it was tequila, which was hilarious.
No, well, actually, I was told it was water, but everyone said it was tequila.
It was a great spot. It was a fantastic spot, whatever the substance was. I gave that one 5.5. I know you're going to laugh at me, but it was an amazing match. The number one hit on that show had to be the Iron Man match. So, Brian, I'm going to send it to you. What were your hits on the show?
I'm going to go there. At one point during the first match, they zoomed in on a couple kissing. Big hit for me. Couple kissing in the front row. It wasn't the front row. It was off in the distance there. Huge fan of just a simple match that started the show out, but was so hot. It was just so hot. The crowd was hot.
You're talking about Starks and Jericho.
Starks sometimes is hesitant. Still have a tiny bit of green, but him and Jericho they actually opened the card to start the pace. This is what we're going to see. We're not going to stop. And I'll get to the misses about one of the stops. So a huge fan of the first match. Kenny Omega, Lance, I was just reminded him getting in a ring with Buddy Murphy and getting in the ring with Black, that he is just so. There's 2 single matches I want to see, but he is so good, man. I just don't know right now. I'd say Okada. I really don't know if we have anyone as good as Kenny Omega, and I just loved it. I loved that opening spot of that match, and that trios match was a little different than the other trios matches, which made it. And I was surprised at the finish, seeing them win. Soho turn, absolutely loved that. I'm gonna give the hits to the agents of this whole show. Who put the matches together. In the girls' match, like you said, just one of those matches where those 3 girls worked their asses off, and a triple threat, we talked about this before, is really a singles match most of the time, as they shit can somebody and keep working. They did a lot of different stuff with the girls where there was 3 girls involved in a lot of the stuff. Thank God we had Jim Ross. This is a hit for a limited time. Thank you, Jim Ross, for only showing up for about 2 or 3 matches. Jeff Jarrett, my buddy Jeff Jarrett. You want me to play that? You want to play that clip? My buddy
Dennis Travel. What's your name? Dennis Travel or something?
Working his ass off, guys. Yep. This guy was working his ass off. FTR return. I loved that at the very end. And you didn't mention, I'm going to mention the match because I thought it was fantastic too, the Iron Man match. And I will go, I know someone's going to say, but I'm going to say, I'll go to say that's my favorite Iron Man match ever. I'm going to say it's 5. And speaking of, we're going to do a quick Patreon after this. Lance, I don't know you know this, but I've been involved in 2 Iron Man matches.
Nice. No, I didn't.
So we're going to talk about that. So that was my last thing. MJF entrance, I loved it. made him look like a total star, and then the main event was excellent match, excellent match.
Here I thought you were only a 6-minute man, not a 60-minute man.
Oh, 60 minutes. Yeah,
6
went a whole
minutes.
60 minutes
The
twice.
wife,
So there we
the
go.
wife got a hold of me that.
Yeah.
I will chime in with you on Jericho Starks. I gave it 4 1/4. I love that match too. What a hell of a way to open that card. But yeah, just I agree with everything you said. The girls busting their asses, and I'll say, a revelation. You spouting off about how great a girls match was. I'm proud of you, my friend.
I'm gonna tell you, and I said this in text with you. There's two girls right now with Hayter and Tony Storm that can almost do no wrong. Tony Storm's
Tony
hot.
Storm
Almost,
is pretty. She's
well,
pretty.
she is pretty,
No,
but
she's
I'm talking
pretty.
about, and I say hot. We've done
hot.
hot chicks. We've done it a couple of times, and it's not the good looking value.
Hot in the
It's
ring.
how good she right now is. It's hard to beat her and Hayter in the ring, and it's fun to watch them. It really is.
I'll say the Tony turn seems to have reinvigorated her, because I thought as a face she was treading water and she wasn't doing anything there.
No, she's just going out of nowhere. I love that turn.
Agree.
Love that team.
The other thing about that match that was really interesting to me is that Ruby, in my prediction, Ruby was inserted in the match to eat the pin, just exclusively to eat the pin. But the bottom line was she was the ring general keeping that match going, and I thought she's the best performer out of those three. Overall, I think she's the best performer.
I'm going to talk to you about. You've already said it twice about you thought you knew who was going to win, and we'll talk about that on Patreon too, because I think I figured out this booking that Tony Khan is doing. So we'll get to it. So
shall we get to the misses?
Misses.
So I don't know if this is a miss per se, but I thought I loved the casket match. I actually loved it. I gave it 4 stars. Why they couldn't call it a casket match or a coffin match, I don't know if that's fucking trademarked by somebody or whatever, but I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
That they couldn't call it that, but my thought, and like I said, I'm not sure that this is a miss, but the fact that they put Jack Perry in a casket match when his whole thing is about his dad and his dad's death, and there's so much reality-based stuff in that angle with Christian and stuff. I just thought it was asking a lot from Jack Perry to put him in that situation. And you could see at the end of the match how emotional he was. I mean, that was real. And I mean, I just thought it was really awkward, and I thought that was a lot to ask for.
I never thought about it. I never
kid.
thought about it. No, at one point.
It would be different if they hadn't played up his dad and had his mom and his sister at ringside and stuff. But they've already used that in storyline with him and Christian and stuff. I thought it was asking a lot of that kid, and I thought he performed really well.
I didn't grasp it until you just said that.
Because it's a weird angle and a weird stipulation match to put that kid in. So anyway, but my other misses on the list, Wardlow and Joe, the opposite of the women's match. They put them also in a very tough spot. They had them follow Moxley and Page in the bloodbath, and those two guys couldn't get it back. I mean, it wasn't a horrible match. I give it 3 stars, but it was an abrupt, anticlimactic finish. Joe getting choked out of nowhere. Wardlow, I think we've agreed Wardlow has been cooled down immensely in the last 8 months or so, ever since they had him the turn with MJF and everything. So I thought they put those guys in a bad spot, and also they couldn't keep up. The fact that Danhausen was in a tag title match, at least he jobbed. I mean, I'll give him that. They had him do the job, but there was a stupid finish. We talked about this stupid finish of that Battle Royal the couple nights before that came down to Danhausen and Orange Cassidy against Butcher and the Blade to get a title shot on the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned that on Shiznit Minute. That was total trash. Total trash.
My God, the fact that it came down to those two teams. First of all, nothing against Butcher and Blade and nothing against Orange. They're all good workers. But that's a complete jobber team. I mean, why is that team even in the running of getting into that title match on the pay-per-view? It devalued those titles. It devalued this match. And the guy you mentioned, Jarrett and Lethal, to me, it was obvious that should have been the choice to have win the titles, because they could have been asshole heels.
I love this. Great. I love you keep saying it. The obvious. This is what was gonna. Right. I love that we didn't know.
On that one, I wasn't necessarily predicting them to win. I thought maybe the Acclaimed would win it again.
I think you're right.
But Jarrett and Lethal should have won that match. I mean, that's a great heel team that you can run with. So anyway, that's my list of misses, but my number one miss, and if you didn't watch the pre-show, you may not know this, but RJ City is the most annoying human being on the face of the earth, let alone a wrestling announcer. It brought me back to Lord James Blears and Alfred Hayes as being, when I first got into wrestling, how annoying those two fuckers were. But RJ City, the most just mincing, horrible character, acting stupid, saying stupid jokes, just nothing was getting over. This guy is the worst. Keep this guy away from my TV. Whether it's pre-show, Dynamite, Rampage, whatever. Just keep this guy off my fucking TV. I hate you, RJ City.
Wow, now he has a new person he hates. You hate him. You hate him.
But I love Jared and Lethal, so it balances out.
RJ City.
How about your misses?
I watched it today. No, I want to talk about your miss real quick. I watched it today, and I think I know this is going to sound weird, but I think he did exactly what they wanted him to do. He is that character that you just said. Ugh. Everything that you said about his character, that's
Go
him.
Away Heat.
It did not bother me.
Is what
it did
that
not
is.
bother
Go
me
Away
at all,
Heat.
so.
It made me reminisce for Peter Rosenberg and Larry Fine or whatever the fuck his name is, Sam Roberts.
WWE does Here's one thing it did do for me, or didn't do for me. It did not. I would not have bought the pay-per-view because of that last 30 minutes with him and Renee coming back and forth. And that's what that's designed for. All right, casket match. It was one of my misses, too. It's not because they didn't call it a casket match. I don't know. I just felt like I know they've had this feud, and I'm just tired of them two wrestling each other. And I just all of a sudden we have a casket match because they hit
just out of nowhere.
Made no sense whatsoever. Wardlow and Joe, just like you said, I thought it was a horrible spot. I gave it like 2.5 stars. I didn't think it was good. I said something in the hits, but the misses to me after the tag team match was, and you know I'm a tag team mark. I don't know if you know that, but I am.
Yeah.
I wrote down, this is what I wrote right after the tag team title match. We got to get a believable team in as tag champs. This is nothing against the Gun Boys will be stars in about 5 years in the WWE. They're not going to be stars here. They're not stars. They're green as grass. They put the belts on the Acclaim when the Acclaim were hot. Why would you take them off of somebody that was so hot? Yeah. You've got Joe and you got Jarrett and Lethal, who to me outshined all of those people. They look they are veterans, but they look so good compared to everyone else in the match. I thought the match was well put together, ever who put that match together, but we need tag team champions that are believable. And they was one of my hits as they walked down to the ring. FTR, I was excited to see them. So, that was my misses. How about your MVP there, Lance?
My MVP on my list. My first mention is Jungle Boy Jack Perry for keeping it together during the casket match. I'll give him that. We disagree on the quality of that match. I really enjoyed that match, but again, putting him in that
I think you're overthinking that, man. I think you're overthinking that.
Well, I give him a lot of props for keeping it together until the very end when he let his emotions kind of show after the casket dropped. The Starland Vocal Band, or as I like to call the Blackpool Combat Club, for both jobbing via tap out on that card. Moxley and Bryan Danielson both tapped out, so I give them a lot of credit. I call them Starland Vocal Band just because the name Blackpool Combat Club is so awkward to me. But my MVPs, it's a tie. I bet you can't guess who it's going to be. It's Danielson and MJF for that epic performance. Was MJF going to get carried? Did he get carried? Did Bryan have to do the carrying? Carrying wasn't needed. He didn't need to be carried. I thought both of them, fantastic job. Like you said, the agents that put that together, as well as Bryan, as far as the leadership role that he had to take in the match. But MJF keeping up with him 100%. Those are my MVPs. It's pretty obvious.
Well, I'm right with you. I'm just going to give I give MVP, I give 1 instead of 12 like you did. So I'm going to give MJF deserves it. There was a question about Meltzer went over this very well, but it was if this wasn't a good match, it wouldn't have looked good for him. It really wouldn't have. And it was an excellent match. It was well put together. I watched the match, and then I went kind of fast forward through it to watch 20 minutes to see where they turned, the heat on and doing this. very, very smart match. I would love to know the agents on this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like I said, maybe the best Iron Man match I've ever seen. MJF, uh, fantastic. Big thumbs up to MJF. Here's a guy who's a heel who is in a different. He's in a different promotion where that work rate means something. I don't know if it would have meant so much if he'd been in the WWE and being a heel like he is right now, but that work rate or that match, the
Mm-hmm.
fans there expected a 5-star match, and that's what they got. It's
They got, yeah. And
MVP
now I,
MJF.
I, I want to reference something that you said twice now is the fact that this is your favorite Iron Man match. How big is your universe of Iron Man matches, dude? Seriously.
Well,
I
you're
mean, I can,
looking at
in my mind, I can think of Sean and Brett.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of
How many
including
are there?
60-minute matches. There have been, the 60 minutes going all the way, maybe one fall. I'm looking at all of that together. I was into this match the whole time, and
Yeah.
I'll be transparent. I was not looking forward to this match. Me and you talked about this, and we were both completely wrong. I thought it, and I mentioned this on Shiznit Minute that it was going to go first in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
2 days before the pay per view, Daniel Bryan posted he wished they could go first because he goes to bed early. So I figured they were going to go first. You thought because the audience,
yeah,
we weren't giving the audience enough credit in
Yeah.
the sense that you said, look, I tell you what, BT, I have this weird suspicion they're going to get out of that 60
Yeah.
minutes. And we're never used to, I didn't say this about a hit, but it is a hit. We're never used to a pay per view that goes less than 4 hours with AEW. And it's so good. It's just every match is impact, and it's really good. But you're looking at. I just keep thinking about. I think I just put Brett and Sean up there because it was the most popular. And then I remember, matches against Punk and Joe that were just time limit draws. They weren't actually Iron Man, but this was just so good, such a good match. All right, what you looking forward to coming up?
All right, I had a list. I created the list. I know you say I nominate 12 guys, but I want to see what is the storyline. Where are they going with Moxley and Bryan, both losing via tap out? I want to see what that leads to. Are they finally going to, well, not finally, but are they going to break up the Blackpool Combat Club now that his lordship is not even there anymore to refer to the name Blackpool, and they're still calling it that? But what are they going to do? Is that going to be a watershed moment where they split them up? They go in different directions. There's rumors that Bryan's going to Japan for the G1. So let's see what they do with that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to a new program for Hangman Page because this seems like it, the trilogy, and he got the big win over Moxley in Moxley's kind of match. So what are they going to do with Hangman? They need to come up with some really good program for him to not lose the momentum. I'm looking forward to seeing RJ City get hit by a bus. But my number one thing that I'm looking forward to, and you actually referenced it, my friend, I'm looking forward to a singles program between Kenny Omega and Malachi Black. Those few moments that they were in the ring together, just the two of them in the ring during the trios match was magic. Oh my God. Not just the crowd heat, the energy in the building, but just their chemistry together. I need a Malachi Black and Kenny Omega singles program and make it extended. Give it to me for a year and a half, whatever it takes.
I'm going to agree with you there. I thought Buddy Murphy. Here's the thing, Buddy. He did when he was in the WWE. He was almost copying Kenny's style. He did a lot of stuff just like Kenny, and he did the same thing in that match. They even mentioned that, but they didn't say in the WWE. But looking forward to FTR being champs, possibly
because you're a tag team, Mark.
It's possibly going back to the Young Bucks, having a tag team feud with the Young Bucks, and I'm looking forward to Kenny Omega as a singles wrestler. I really don't care who he's feuding against. I just would like to see the build for him and then the build for him to go after the belt. And Hangman Page is. I'm done with Hangman Page. He's.
Really?
I don't think he. I don't know why, but I'm just. I'm actually done with. I love that match, but he's just blah to me now. And I don't.
Eric
I
Krone
know
is
Eric's
not going to
gonna
be
cry.
happy. Eric Krone is going to hate that
Yeah,
comment.
Crone's gonna
So
cry there, but
Krone is
yeah,
not
that's
going
the
to
way
be
I feel.
happy.
All
So.
right, must see, brother, must see.
Hold on, I'm clearing my throat. Anyway, all right, must see. As if you didn't know. Well, I mean,
I
actually,
know.
no. I had 3 matches that were 5 stars or better on this, so it could go in different directions. However, as far as a match that you have to see, it's obviously the Iron Man match. It was performance art. You know, when people talk about professional wrestling as performance and this, that, and the other, it was performance art. What these guys did, it elevated MJF to another level. We all know that he's the best talker today. In my book, he's the best talker in the history of the business, and I know you're going to dispute me on that. We all knew he would be carryable in this match. I thought, he'll hold his own. He's good enough in the ring. When people bitch and moan that he's not all that good in the ring and blah, 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 I'm like, no, he's good enough in the ring. I knew he would be carryable. He didn't need to be carried. He was fantastic. It was a classic performance from both of them. You expected it from Bryan, and you kind of mentioned that earlier, that, the match would look bad because of MJF. If it was bad, it would be his fault. You expected Bryan to put out in this match. You expected him to be able to go 60 minutes, which he did. You did not expect it from MJF to be to that caliber and that level of a match that he put out. That match is my must-see, obviously.
All right, my must-see, I'm going to go with a list of 12. No, I'm going to go really, if you're looking and want to watch a pay-per-view and you've never watched an AEW pay-per-view, the must-see is this one. It's very good, very entertaining. But the 2 matches, I mean, the trios match was so good. I think because there was such a highlight. I don't know if they did this on purpose, a highlight of Omega and getting us excited about him again. But as Lance said, yeah, if you got 60 minutes, want to sit down and watch art, and that's what it was art, the way they put it together. Go watch the main event. Excellent match, not just because of Bryan Danielson. It did help. We gave the agents a big thumbs up there on that, and also MJF. So just a real, not the best interview ever, like Lance said. There's no way in hell. But he's very good at what he does, and I'm excited. I should have put this, but I'm kind of excited to see what they do with him in the next few weeks. Who's his next contender? So,
yeah.
all right, man.
Just out of curiosity, what did you give the Moxley and Page death match? What'd you give?
I gave it 4.5, and I gave overall it was a 3.9, so that's pretty high. I mean 3.9 average, almost a 4-point average overall.
Yeah.
On stars, so that is a really high star rating pay-per-view. And
that was my other 5, was the Moxley and Page, because of the brutality of it. I gave that one a 5. That was my third. And the card, and I know you laughed at me, I said it was 4 1/4. The pay-per-view average scores was 4 1/4, which I looked it up. My highest previous to this was Full Gear 2021 at 4.1.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been so many pay-per-views in the past, and we talked about this a little bit on a WTF, and I mean, star ratings, yes, but I think of other that I was more excited about that I thought was better as a pay-per-view just because of one match.
But on this one, there wasn't the dud. You know what I mean? Like, there's normally like
Joe and Wardlow was pretty good.
I mean, it paled compared to the rest of the card. But what I'm saying is, there's normally that. I hate.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There's usually, but that Chris Statlander or Jade Cargill match that pulls it down. That pulls the average down. So I mean, there wasn't one on this card. There wasn't one.
I agree.
So
very good.
That's
very
why
good show.
It had the peaks and it had the average matches were still 3s and 4s.
All right, guys. Same next Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever WTF. Same bad time, same bad channel. On the Best Wrestling Podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mama.
And as everyone knows, I have fun everywhere I go. I wish I could have gone to this card, but I will go to the next one. We'll go to All Out because they'll be back in Chicago again.
All right. We're removing this from the main feed. If you are watching us, you can also always go back and watch it wherever you watched it just now. YouTube, Facebook.